All right, guys, the only thing that we're gonna change from day 1 to day 2 is the position of the person's arm in the lock, okay? So when the arm is up like this for finishing, it's called an Americana, and when it's down like this, it's called a Kimura. So let's look at the Kimura today. We are gonna look at the Kimura from his pummeled position, okay? His arm is gonna be in my armpit and pummeled. Now, notice, the first thing I did, I made a little adjustment there, was he was turning up on his side to escape. Look, if your partner is doing this, this is not the time to be trying to get this arm. This is the time to be getting them back down flat on the mat, okay? Because it's always position before submission, okay? So notice, that was the first thing I did, was readjusted my position so that he was stuck and pinned first. Here we go. Now, once we're in this position, okay, when somebody has the pummel, the first thing I want to do is I want to grab that head, okay? Because he needs to turn to his left to start to escape, and my arm is making that difficult. From this position, I'm going to take my free hand, and I'm going to make a pronated grip. Grab the wrist and pin it to his body, okay? Now, from here, if I need to walk towards his legs a little bit and turn him so that I can grab and pin, then I do so. Notice, again, the walking towards the legs gets him turned. Which way do you have to turn to escape?
That way.
Again, it's towards me. I have everything going the other way. Grab the wrist, okay? From the grabbing of the wrist position, I'm going to take his arm and I'm going to slide it to the mat. Now, once I have the arm slid to the mat, I need to come back up towards the head. I'm not so worried about his legs, but I'm holding his wrist down. Jordan, can you turn towards me?
No, sir.
No, the arm gets left behind. Okay? From this position, I'm going to reach my arm out around the head, and I'm going to start to try to lock my grip. Now look, notice, Jordan's arm, it's very hard for me to reach here. It's not because I don't have long arms, it's because you have tight shoulders, okay? How do I make this reaching of the grip happen? I take my elbow, the one that's going in the armpit, and I move it down towards his elbow, and that allows me to reach the grip, okay? Once I reach the grip, I'm gonna move to what's called on the power line, which is gonna be my head, okay, on his hip, and my hips over this shoulder. It's a power line, okay? This is where I will be the strongest, he will be the weakest. So again, I have this locked up. I'm gonna move to the power line and step over his head. Notice from this position, his head is in between my legs. I'm gonna pull him up off the mat and take his hand and put it behind his back. Jordan, no pressure yet though, right?
Not too much.
Not too much. This is not the finish. Too often we get here and we start to try to finish with the hand, with them down and the hand on the mat, okay? My elbow is now on the mat and I'm going to imply a pulling Kimura, which means I'm going to take this right arm and I'm going to pull it towards his head. I am not going to be pushing with my left hand here. So I have this locked up. Notice, pull. And there's the finish. With a non-resisting partner, I can do it with one hand. And there's the finish. With the resist, you give this left hand just for support so he can't straighten the arm. So again, here we are. We're in the pummeled position. I get him flat and I control his head. I walk towards his legs, turn them, grab the wrist, pin it to his body first. Then I slide it off to the mat. Back up. Come around, underneath. My left elbow's on the mat. I can't reach my own wrist, so I move my elbow to his elbow. From this position, I move to the power line, step over, pick him up. Okay, now look, if Jordan started to resist from here, he's gonna straighten his arm. I'm never gonna get the Kimura. Why? Because the hand is not behind the back. So I come over the top, and I put the arm behind the back. A man is very, very weak here, okay? We want to keep that arm behind their back. I pull with the Kimura, and there's the finish. Guys, that was a lot of steps on the Kimura for day 2, so if you only feel comfortable practicing that, go ahead. If you feel like you can put the whole thing together, then like we did with the Americana on day 1, then please do so and go ahead. But we'll see you back here for day 3 of the class. 1, 2, 3.